All right, let's jump right into this. We're going to discuss RFK and censorship and what is to come on July 20th. This is really cool stuff, really good stuff. Let's start this, jump right into it. Okay, so this is one thing. First, I just want to cover the censorship part. This is from RFK's Twitter. This was posted today, about 8 hours ago, it looks like. So let's read this together. Censorship. Censorship evokes images of frowning Soviet bureaucrats spiking stories and imprisoning dissidents. Today it bears a kinder demeanor, cloaked in euphemisms like working together with our partners to fight misinformation. Behind those euphemisms lies the grim reality that tech platforms have been coerced by threats of antitrust action and amendments to the Communications Decency Act to censor voices the government doesn't like. Well, haven't we been here before? So that's how this all kind of started. And then, less than 6 hours ago, I believe, this is what Kennedy wrote here. I'll be testifying before the subcommittee on the weaponization of the federal government in Congress on July 20th. That name itself bespeaks an adversarial relationship between people and government, the opposite of democracy. And I'm going to read more from Kennedy24.com. But he also puts on Twitter here, he also says, my testimony will be on censorship. When the government silences the people's voices, it demonstrates a basic lack of respect for the people and for democracy. No wonder we, the people, have lost respect for the government in turn. All right, and then you can go to Kennedy24.com and we can read about Kennedy to testify on censorship, which is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to share this tab. So this is in the press releases section of Kennedy24.com/press. This was released today. Let's read this. All right. Now this is posted today, July 13th, 2023. Begins with the headline, Kennedy to testify on censorship and collusion between government and social media companies. I mean, Trump and Kennedy just sound so much alike. I don't know if I'm the only one that thinks that. I don't believe so. But the similarities are just, they just keep growing. The list of similarities keeps growing. So let me read a little bit of this here. This is a press release from Team Kennedy with a Kennedy quote in there. So, Washington, D.C., July 13, 2023. The Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government will hold a hearing on Thursday, July 20th at 9 a.m. Eastern in the Rayburn House Office Building, 2141 Rayburn House Office Building in Washington, D.C. The hearing will examine the federal government's role in censoring Americans, the Missouri versus Biden case, and big tech's collusion with out-of-control government agencies to silence speech. Presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will be the prime witness at the hearing, where he will describe the effects of unconstitutional censorship not only on his campaign, but on the rights of the American people. Recent revelations in the Twitter files and the Missouri v. Biden show how deeply institutionalized government censorship has become, Kennedy said. It is dressed up in euphemisms like working with our partners in tech, but make no mistake, this is a systematic program to control what Americans can say and think. As such, it is antithetical to democracy. In a democracy, the people tell the government what to think, not the other way around. Then it leaves the article or the press release leaves a link that you can watch it here. That will redirect you So I'm going to click on that and share that tab, because that will redirect you to where you can actually watch it. Let me hit the notify. Make sure you hit the notification in 6 days, July 20th at 6 a.m. Ooh, that's going to be early. And so this is the House Judiciary GOP. This is their YouTube channel. I'm going to subscribe to that. Make sure that when you subscribe, that you click on the, even after you subscribe, click on the bell to make sure that it goes to all. For some reason, it will always default to personalize, which is why a lot of people only get some notifications and not all notifications. But doing what I just did will make sure that you get all notifications, or at least it should. In some cases, it still doesn't, but that's okay. So I wanted to show you that in case you wanted to watch that live. I will be streaming that, restreaming it live when that happens. 6 a.m. I have to get up early. That will be good. So let's, I'm going to go back to the article so that, what I want to do is go to, I love when they add links. The only link I didn't click on is one where it says censoring Americans. But I did click earlier on the link, hold a hearing. So I'm going to click on that, because this is for the select subcommittee on the weaponization of the federal government. So I'm going to click on that link. That is going to then take me, and I need to share this here. So it takes me here to judiciary.house.gov /committee activity /hearing weaponization federal government 3. Now this is going to take place. This is from the House of Representatives Judiciary Committee with Chairman Jim Jordan. So you know it's going to be good with Jim Jordan there leading the helm. That should be fun. I'm curious to see who is going to be on the other side, what Democrats are going to actually show up for this and try to grill RFK on his thoughts, his views on the virus that shall not be named, and the censorship in general. But this is the direct link if you just want to watch it live. Okay, so I'm going to read just a little bit of this directly from the website. Only about 2 sentences here. And hit the control button, hold the plus down, and that will maximize the screen just like I did here. So this is what they say. The Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government will hold a hearing on Thursday, July 20th, 2023 at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. The hearing will examine the federal government's role in censoring Americans, the Missouri versus Biden case, and big tech's collusion with out-of-control government agencies to silence speech. 3 witnesses. Witnesses will be Robert F. Kennedy, who is listed as a quote-unquote attorney, Emma Jo Morris, a journalist for Breitbart News, and D. John Sauer, the Special Assistant Attorney General for the Louisiana Department of Justice. Very interesting. Of course, we all know who's going to be the focal point here. I'm sure Robert F. Kennedy will be the focal point on the Republican side. I'm curious to see what are the Democrats going to do? How are they even going to show up? Who's going to show up? So this will be interesting to see what happens, what Democrats show up. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Another showdown here. This will be more. This is good for RFK Jr. This is good for his campaign. And it's pretty interesting that the Republican Judiciary Committee, headed by Jim Jordan, is hosting this, and Robert F. Kennedy is there. I wonder if President Trump is going to be brought up. I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm also wondering if President Trump will comment on this. So far, I've only seen one comment from President Trump on RFK Jr. This is an opportunity for President Trump to comment a second time. And wouldn't that be awesome? I think it would. All right, so there you have that. There's still more that I want to show you here. Just one other link that I want to go back to. Because I was wondering, okay, I know about the recent revelations in the Twitter files, but didn't really know anything about this Missouri versus Biden, except for what we've heard, I'm sure. So I'm going to click on that link, Missouri v. Biden, and this will take us to an article that was done, a press release from Kennedy24.com. July 5th, 2023. RFK Jr. responds to federal judge freedom of speech censorship ruling. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. How does that work? That's okay. Yeah, that'll work. That will work for our purposes here. Los Angeles, California, July 5th, 2023. A federal judge issued an injunction. So we can just keep going on. Awesome. We can get the actual injunction. Love it. Tuesday, prohibiting Biden administration officials and federal agencies from communicating with social media companies about certain forms of protected speech. So there was an injunction prohibiting Biden administration officials and federal agencies from communicating with social media companies about certain forms of protected speech. The 155-page ruling details numerous clear violations of the First Amendment's free speech clause. Amply referenced and footnoted, the document describes how Biden administration officials demanded that social media companies suppress information and deplatform people who express political views they deemed harmful. How many of us has that happened to? And how many more will this continue to happen to? This ruling has been widely reported as barring the administration from working with, contacting, or coordinating with social media, said Democratic presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is mentioned in the injunction as one of the people censored on social media. RFK Jr. also says these are euphemisms. The case is about blatant censorship in which government agencies colluded with and coerced tech platforms to censor constitutionally protected speech. Isn't that something? How many of us have been deplatformed? And does it relate to any of this? What can we do to fight back? What can we do to get our old channels back? I'd love to get my original channel back. I'm sure some of you may too. Now, I'm just specifically talking about YouTube. That's the only place I've been, I've had that issue there, but come on. And I could see them saying, okay, we're going to, you can't make it public or anything, but at least allow me to grab those videos and put them somewhere else. That I thought was pretty crazy. Okay. Article continues, the press release continues. As described in the injunction, government censorship demands were backed with threats to revoke Article 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which shields social media companies from liability for actions taken on their website, as well as the threat of antitrust action. Both of these, in the words of Mark Zuckerberg, are existential threats to social media companies' business. So pretty much forcing social media, the Biden administration pretty much forcing social media to do what they wanted. And it's not just the Biden administration, because this was even happening when Trump was in office. So it's also quote unquote federal agencies. So it's not just the Biden administration. I'm glad and that's mentioned in the very first sentence, by the way. But just to be clear, the injunction describes the formation of a censorship apparatus that includes public-private partnerships with groups like the Virality Project, the Stanford Internet Observatory, and the Election Integrity Project. They operated not only through direct demands, but also through creating a tacit consensus about what information is permissible. That's the big thing. They were colluding to say what information is allowed on these social media platforms. Goes against freedom of speech. Clearly. And like I've said many times, like if they made that clear years ago, I probably wouldn't have joined these social media platforms, and maybe you wouldn't have either. And maybe that's why, the social media platforms wouldn't have blown up the way that they did if they were so heavily censored back then. but for them to just start the censorship at a certain time that suits them, that fits the government and the government quote unquote agencies, that is really, really wrong. Specifically, the Biden administration is named in this thing, and that is a big, big deal because the Trump administration was not. So there you have more proof. Trump about freedom of speech, Biden administration, not so much. Disallowed posts and suppress information include those. So here we go. These are what they include. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Questioning the safety of the COVID vaccines, claiming shots did not prevent infection or transmission, doubting the utility of masks and lockdown, which is one thing I got a strike for um, from a video that I posted that just said, hey, the WHO, in the beginning, they were saying don't wear masks. And then later on, they changed their mind. That's all I said. And that video got taken down. um, Suggesting the lab leak hypothesis for COVID origins, which we know there's a lot of evidence showing about the lab leak. Questioning the integrity of the 2020 election. That is what got my original channel nuked right there. That was it. Um, three strikes, all related to President Trump, all related to the 2020. I don't even know if any of it was related to COVID at that time. I don't think so. I don't think, not on my original channel. It was all related to just replaying what President Trump said, and they gave me strikes and they took the channel down for that, for all of that. So, and claiming the authenticity of the Hunter Biden laptop store. I mean, this is crazy. All of these things here, these are the main things that have all turned out to have substance to them. And to just act like we can't even put that in there and these things are not permissible, that is wrong. That is really wrong. That's a violation of freedom of speech. And I hope that this will tell those companies to back up, to ease up, to do what Elon Musk did with Twitter. Give us our channels back. Let us have our freedom of speech back. And people will love to flock to these places. But that's why they're moving away to Kick, to Discord, to Rumble, to anywhere that they can go, because of the big companies. And we know who these big companies are that are censoring, have just gone mad censoring, I believe. Here's what Robert F. Kennedy says, and we're almost done here. The judge got it exactly right when he wrote, freedom of speech and press is the indispensable condition of nearly every other form of freedom, Kennedy said. Without freedom of speech, there is no democracy. Attorneys, and that was from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Now, here's the last sentence. Attorneys for Team Kennedy are considering further legal action to protect Mr. Kennedy's rights and those of the campaign to be heard free of censorship. And they may have some more clout than us regular people because he's running for president. So he may have a little extra clout is what I'm hoping. But who knows what doors this could open if Team Kennedy does follow through with legal action and wins. And based on what we see here, the federal judges, the injunction, this starts that process. This opens that door. So I don't know. There's the injunction. I mean, I don't need to read the whole thing. And if it's on the Wall Street Journal, I can't read it anyways. So that one didn't work. What about the 155-page ruling? Please take me to a PDF. Yes. So awesome. So when you click on the 155-page ruling, it takes you to the actual PDF. Love it. This is perfect. This is journalism. This is exactly what you want to do. There is a lot of stuff. Wow, 155 pages. Crazy. This is just the ruling. I wonder if it has any screenshots or anything like that. There's a lot of stuff in here. Oh, this is great. So I'm going to download this, back this puppy up. Boom. Who is this judge? Terry Doughty. Very cool. I like it. I'm really liking that. So We'll just play one little short video, and then we're out of this one. How about this News Nation? Everybody can see that here. This one is about
to return to the Oval Office.
Okay, let me just go back a little bit. It's good stuff here. This is from the News Nation Town Hall, which I also got taken down from my channel recently, my other channel. And I was like, and it's because it was taken down for medical misinformation. The original is still up. You can still go to News Nation, search for RFK Jr. There's a playlist, I believe, and you can find this. Or it's just maybe just like a 1 hour show. It's really good though. But I was just like, okay, well, the takedown mine. All I did was replay it. They should, if they want to take it down for replaying it, that's one thing. But no, it's for medical misinformation. How is it medical misinformation on my channel, but not on the original? I don't know. Whatever. So, yeah, let me play this. This is a 1 minute clip here.
Many Democrats fear that you're a spoiler in the race, that you will damage President Biden in the primary and grease the skids for former President Trump to return to the Oval Office. This week, former President Trump said about you, Kennedy is smart and he's a common sense guy. What kind of man do you think Donald Trump is?
I'm proud that President Trump likes me, even though I don't agree with him on most of his issues, because I don't want to alienate people. I want to bring people together. I'm proud that all these people like me and that I have independent supporters and Democratic supporters. Every Democrat says, I want to end the polarization. But how do you do that without talking to people who don't agree with you? How do you do that without appealing to people? My purpose is to find the issues, the values that we have in common, rather than, focus on the issues and the personality that keep us all apart. If you like this video and you want to help me become president of the United States, go to Kennedy24.com and donate now.
I just want to say that no, I do not like that video. I love that video. That was an awesome video. It gives me chills, but that's great. And that's, that's a big part of the book that I'm writing, because that's what I want to see. How are these two candidates going to react to each other? I was looking at something else, the Kennedy Democrat. What is a Kennedy Democrat? I'm like, where did this term come from? And then when you think about it, and when you hear what they're calling a Kennedy Democrat, you may be a Kennedy Democrat too. Donald Trump may be a Kennedy Democrat too. He just may be. So I think that's a great place to end this one. God bless you all. Stay true to God. Remember, Jesus Christ loves you. Go forward. Be good. Till next time.